Hello, everybody. I'm Marcus Kusi,
And I'm Ash Kusi.
and we run up the blog peacefulfamily.com, and we help couples become better husbands and wives so they can improve their marriage. Um, Over the past few months, we sent an email out to our community asking our members if they had questions that they wanted us to answer for them. And basically, most of the questions we were asking about were related to marriage. So we got quite a few responses. And in this video, we want to answer as many questions as we can. If you're watching this video and you're not on our newsletter, we highly recommend you join, because when we post new videos out, we're going to send out an email to anybody who is part of our newsletter so they can come watch the videos. You can join our newsletter by visiting our peacefulfamily.com/newsletter. And if you have any questions that you want to ask us, you can visit our peacefulfamily.com/ask, and you'll be able to fill out the form. And when you fill out the form, we've made it in such a way that it's anonymous, so we're not requiring your name or email address.
We don't know who you are.
Yes, so just feel free to put in your questions and then tell us how long you've been married, and then we'll answer your questions as they come through.
Yeah. We got a lot of submissions this time, so we're not going to be able to get to all of them today, but we'll try to get through as many as we can in the time that we have. And then whatever we don't get to this time, we'll do in the next video.
Yes. So let's get right away to our first question.
Okay, so this is a good one. And oh, by the way, we're answering these in the order we've received them. The first question is, how should I satisfy my wife sexually? I'd say that the first thing you should do is ask your wife. Ask her because she knows her body and her fantasies and her desires better than anybody else. And so to have that open communication about sex and be able to have a frank and honest conversation can take your relationship and your sex life from just mediocre or okay to like phenomenal.
Yes. And just to add to that, another thing that I would say as a guy is, apart from knowing what your wife wants in the bedroom, you should also put in the effort to study the female body and to learn things about how the female body works, because knowing that will help you a lot in the bedroom and in different ways also as you explore each other's bodies. One website that I have found to be helpful, not just for me and for us, but also other couples, is on the website called o.school. It's the letter o.school. So just go to that website and have a ton of videos that are very educational and teaches you about the female body, the male body, and how to have wonderful orgasms and be able to improve your sex life and intimacy in your marriage.
Yeah, and we'll put all the links to what we're talking about today in the notes.
Yeah, in the notes or in the comments section below this video. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the next question, let me go with that.
Okay.
The next question is, what does a wife expect from a husband? And what does a wife expect from a husband? For me, just similar to the first question, you have to ask what your wife is expecting from you. It comes down to the expectations she has for you as her husband or wife, or partner, in other words. So just talking to her and then seeing what she wants from you is going to help you know that, okay, this is what she wants, and then help you be able to do that so you can meet her expectations. Sometimes there might be expectations that you might not be willing to meet, maybe because of your own, how comfortable you are, but then being able to have that conversation will help you to come to a compromise and agreement that you both be happy with.
A lot of our advice that we will give today and that we normally give is just talk to each other and communicate. And sometimes it's easier said than done. That's exactly why we started our blog, was because communication can be such an issue, and it was for us in the beginning. Yeah. But we've come to a place where we realize that you just have to have those awkward and tough conversations so that you can grow your relationship and your communication, and your marriage can really flourish. What I would add to that is, my own expectations for my husband was to have a partner in life, somebody who would support me, especially when I needed that extra, just that rock in my life when things were stressing me out or I was going through difficult things. Just somebody I could trust, and who would love me even when I didn't feel like I was worth it, and who was just a partner in every aspect of life, and that he'd be a good father. And I never expected him to be this amazing provider that always, I don't know, like
Like
ton of
Superman.
money, things like that,
Yeah.
right? Just realistic. I just wanted a partner. And it's different for every woman. I can only speak for myself. So I would advise you to speak with your wife. You can ask her to make a list. Like, when you think about a husband, what does the husband role fill for you in life? And it's important to remember that our spouse will not complete us, but they should help complement us.
Yeah. The last thing that we'll add to this question is that visit our website, peacefulfamily.com/expectations. Again, we'll put the links in the comment section so below this video. And then we have an article that talks about how to talk with your spouse about the expectations that you have for each other and what you're thinking about in terms of rules and everything, how you talk about money. So just read the article and that'll give you a better idea and a better understanding of how to talk to your wife about all of this expectation stuff.
Question ideas to talk about, things like that.
Yeah, and we also included a worksheet that you can download for free and then print it out, and then you can sit down with your spouse and then fill that together and to help you.
Yeah, we just redid that article, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
we're going through a lot of our old articles and kind of revamping them, and that's one of the ones that we just did.
Yeah, so that's great. Now the next question. Let me go again.
Sure.
Okay. The next question is me and my husband have no clue how to communicate, but we text though. For this question, just like we talked about the other one, we have a very detailed article on our website. And when you visit peacefulfamily.com/communicate, it's a really detailed article that shows you the 7 support steps that we use to communicate. Just go read the article and it will help you communicate in a different dynamic with your spouse.
The steps we give and the advice we give, excuse me, is very simple, but it's not always easy to do. Just remember that. Yeah. And when we've been married since 2010. Mm-hmm. And throughout that time, it's been a struggle with communication. But we just had a very big conversation recently. And after that conversation was over, we were like, wow, we've really come far in our communication. And it could have been, a huge fight, but it wasn't. We were both calm. We were both being empathetic and trying to hear and see things from each other's point of view. But being honest and frank with each other. And my point is that, what is my point?
Your point is that learning how to communicate is one of the essential skills that every couple needs to master. And the most important things about communication is being able to listen with empathy. When you're listening to your spouse, you're listening to hear what they are saying from their perspective without any biases or without any lenses or whatever you think that you're trying to look at the issue from. Yeah,
without not necessarily having to agree with them. I had it and then I lost it again. Yeah. That happens to me a lot.
It's okay. If you come back to it, we'll talk about it. But the main key with communication is, you have to be willing to listen and then give your spouse your full attention. And then when you listen with empathy, that helps you get a better understanding of whatever they're saying. And you can actually have a really, really good conversation without being judgment and being very defensive as you have that discussion. So question number 4. You want to get it?
Masturbation in marriage. Is this normal or does it rob intimacy? The Bible is very vague. One thing that we should probably clear up before we answer this question is, although we were both raised Christian, neither one of us is religious anymore. I consider myself as an agnostic, and Marcus is also questioning right now.
I'm just questioning a lot of things about the way I was raised, about Christian religion, and certain things about it that I right now have difficulty understanding. So that is where I am in terms of my Christian faith.
Right. But back to the question about masturbation in marriage. We believe that in general, as long as it's not taking away from your intimacy with your partner, then there's no harm in it. It's a natural thing to do. I mean, children start to do it naturally. Nobody has to show them or teach them. It's a part of your discovering and developing your sexuality. And so unless it's causing problems with, if you want to have sex and they're like, oh, I already masturbated, now I don't want to have sex,
then that's an issue.
Then it's a problem.
Yeah. And that could easily lead to like a sexless marriage or dead bedrooms.
So it's just important, again, with the communication and to let your partner know your needs. And I mean, it could be helpful, especially if one of you has a higher sex drive than the other.
Yeah. So We'll go to the next question, which is question number 5. And this question states, is it possible for my husband to stop porn cold turkey? I know he was convicted by God. He has no desire to look at porn. And I personally used to watch porn when I was in high school, but then I stopped it one day. Personally, I just quit cold turkey and I've not looked at porn ever since. For us, we believe that it's not something that's healthy for our marriage and our relationship, so we don't watch porn. But we do know that there are other couples that watch porn and they see it as something that is beneficial for their marriage and their relationship. And we won't tell you to not watch it if you're two consenting adults and you agree that that's what you're going to do. It's not our business. It's your business. And so whatever you think will help your relationship, go ahead and do it. So far as you both agree with whatever you're doing.
Yeah. What Mark has said, it's you have to have a frank discussion with each other. It sounds like from this message that this is a deal breaker for this woman. And if that is, then you need to go and talk to your husband. But it sounds like you've already had some of these discussions if he's saying that he's done here. But I would just say to be open and honest about it with him and say, this is why it bothers me so much. And when I had a similar conversation with you in the very beginning too. And it's just about that, you being vulnerable with him and letting him know that and having that boundary. If you rather have a husband who doesn't look at porn and he needs to make a decision if that's your boundary.
Yeah, if it's a really big issue for you, there are a lot of websites, online educational resources. You can even go to your local library and get books that will show you how to stop watching porn. Like you can buy a book from Amazon. There are a lot of resources out there. So just do some research on Google and you can get one that will help. And if he really wants to stop it, then should be open to getting resources that will help him to be able to stop that habit.
Yeah, I think it's just also about letting him have the freedom to be vulnerable with you and let you know when he's struggling, and so that maybe you can help distract him and maybe you can offer an alternative, and whatever that is for you guys.
Yeah.
But the topic of porn, I think it's controversial. Specifically, sounds like you're coming from a religious background. And so what I would say is, that it's up to each couple and each person in that relationship to decide where the boundaries are drawn with that.
Yeah, and whether it's a deal breaker or not, you have to really think about all of that.
Yeah.
So we'll go to our next question, which is question number 6. Let me read the question. It's the person asks, my fiancé feels shy sometimes around me, which is understandable. Not everybody is very outgoing and very sociable. I
open.
Yeah, I personally am quite introverted, but I'm an introvert. But when I'm in a social setting, I'm able to mingle a little bit. I don't have any anxiety related to that. So with this question, I think it comes down to if your fiance is shy about it, comes out with being vulnerable. So from my experience, what I've learned is that if you are vulnerable with somebody, you take the first initiative that you're vulnerable with somebody, that makes it easier for the other person to be vulnerable with you. And so if you can be vulnerable to your fiance, in return, they will see that they can trust you and they'll be more vulnerable with you, and you can help them overcome this issue of being shy around you. And also the other thing you can ask them is that what makes your fiance, what makes him or her shy about you? Like, is it something that you do? It's like when he or she is around you, when they're around you, they feel awkward. Like, is there something? Because sometimes it could be because you're earning more than them, and because of that, they have this self-esteem whereby it's like, I am a little shy because I think you are at this level and I'm on that level. So just having that conversation will help you be able to address this issue.
I think I see what you're saying. I think what it's going to take is just you guys spending. I love what you said about being vulnerable, and I totally agree with you. And that's an interesting take on that. But I think that you also need to just spend time together, and it sounds like you really need to keep learning about each other. And you can do that through obviously scheduling time every day to check in with each other at least. If you can't spend at least an hour together having a meaningful conversation every day, at least a few times a week. And just to really kind of build that trust and learn more about each other. And because you need that honesty and that vulnerability in a marriage to have, because you're going to have to talk about sex. You're going to have to talk about money. You're going to have to talk about like family issues and past trauma.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much that you have to be able to talk about if you want to have a healthy and thriving marriage. And honesty was hard, but I think it was easier for us because it was just like, I'm not going to play this game. This is who I am. Either you accept me or you don't. And when I'd give an answer, when he'd ask me a direct question, I'd be like, oh, it was just, and I blew him off with an answer. He'd be like, well, no, why? And she was just digging and to the root of what we were talking about. And I found that a little invasive at first, but it was also like refreshing to have somebody who really cared about me, to want to know that much. And it made me trust him.
Yeah. And the other thing also is, like Ashley was saying, just having conversations, a lot of conversations, and spending time together doing a lot of different activities will help you bond more and will help your fiance be more open and not shy around you. If you need some resources on our website, visit ourpeacefulfamily.com/questions. We have a list of, I think, about 69 questions in that article, and that will give you a starting point on conversation starters to start trying to get to know each other more and being able to peel that layer of shyness that your fiancé has around you.
Yeah, and if it's only around a certain topic of questions that you notice that they're feeling shyer about, you can always try to get to the root of that. So if it's about money, then you can ask, what is it about this that makes you feel uncomfortable, or let them know it seems like you're uncomfortable talking about this. Is there a reason why? And just trying to get to understand them more, and where they're coming from will help.
Mm-hmm. We hope that helps. We are on to question number 7, which is it okay to have a wedding that is strictly based on invitation?
I thought all weddings worked that way. I mean, I'm sure there's more of a casual tone type of things. Yeah, for sure. But yes, it's totally fine to have it invitation only.
Yeah. Our next question is, I need a simple wedding plan. So with this question, we'll just tell you how we did ours.
We don't have any like resources,
about
website
weddings
or anything like that. But yeah, what we did, we had a very cheap wedding, but it was a nice wedding.
Very nice.
It was like,
we spent less than $2,000, I think, for
and that
everything.
Was the dress, the venue, the food, like everything.
Yeah.
We had a really nice place. It was a lodge in Killington, Vermont. And what I did was I shopped for a bridesmaid dress rather than a actual wedding dress. And I think it was like $200 or less.
Yeah.
And then we worked with the place where we had the wedding, the venue. And we said, well, instead of, can we get half price if we only invite 50 people or less? And they agreed to that. So we kept it to a lower guest count. And we did skip a DJ. We made a playlist with an iPod and like a bigger speaker.
Yeah.
So I do regret that we didn't get a professional photographer or videographer. I would not skimp on that. Learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
That's what our website's about. But yeah, we just kept it simple. My family helped me decorate. I made the cake. We did
what we could do with what we had at that time, and it came out beautiful, and we are still married, so
it is.
It's not really
in the long run. It's one day.
It's one day. Yeah, don't stress too much about it.
Really cheap, you can go to the courthouse, but it's about finding out what's important to both of you about the day, and then focusing on making that happen.
Yeah. So that's it for today, and we really enjoyed answering these questions. This is our first time that we are doing this, and we are really happy about it. We are happy we were able to get these questions from you, our newsletter subscribers, and we are really glad that you've given us this opportunity to answer your questions for you.
We hope it helps.
Yes, we really hope
We hope it was
yes.
clear enough. And the other questions that we did not get to this time, we will get to next time.
Yeah, and then once the video is out, we'll send an email to everybody who is on our newsletter. So if you're not on our newsletter, just join it. It's peacefulfamily.com/newsletter, and we will send you any updates that we have, including the video updates. The other thing is, if you have any questions you want to ask us, just visit peacefulfamily.com/ask, which is ASK, and we'll get to your question when we get to it. I think probably in the next video.
We're answering them once a month.
We are trying to do it once a month. So
at the very least.
Yes. So hopefully we'll get them out soon and you can get your question answers. Thank you very much. Again, it's Marcus and Ash.
Ash.
Yeah. That's it.